My name is Neal Huff, and I play Father Adrian Crouse in When I Come to Die. I'm super excited about LCT3, actually, because I'm very excited to be able to do a play that, you know, a lot of people can come to. And the jumping off point for the play is that a man has survived lethal injection. And then that actually did happen after Nathan, I don't know if you know that, wrote the first draft. There was some kind of mishap somewhere, I don't think it was Texas, and a man did survive, and then, you know, 3 weeks later he was gone. But Nate wrote this first, and, you know, this man is left with the situation of not knowing when he's going to go, knowing he's probably going to go, and just kind of all of those questions. And I play the guy who happens to be there, the priest, the spiritual advisor, and, you know, it's a tremendously challenging question. You know, what do you do with the time you have when your past has been taken from you, your future has been, you know, is going to be taken from you, and how do you give, how do you help fill up his heart, his mind, his spirit with something that is going to help him leave this world in a way that is better than, you know, than it might be otherwise if he didn't consider those things. It also reminds me of Blade Runner in a weird way. Did you ever see Blade Runner? You know, the replicants get very intense about, like, how long have I got? You know, when is this? I know the jig is up, and just, you know, when is this going to be, and what do you say? You know, in Blade Runner, the guy gets his head crushed by Rutger Hauer, and luckily so far that doesn't happen to me in the play. I'm good friends with a few priests who are actually incredibly helpful. They're an amazingly generous bunch, the Catholic priests that I've been talking to. You know, they've just been so cool about, you know, explaining, you know, their work on death row, or one guy in Massachusetts in particular was wonderful. Wonderful. They have a supermax facility. They don't have death penalty in Massachusetts. So yeah, and that all comes from my my friendship with you know, Catholic priest, Father Jim Maracki, Father Tom Stanton, Father Mark Reamer has been very helpful. Works on death row now in North Carolina. The stuff that made me kind of fall in love with acting first was kind of the Brits of a certain era, and I really liked the fact that they were doing all mediums, you know, because London's one city, it's kind of a more accepted thing. In the UK, you know, you can do film, TV, and theater, and it's not quite like here, where I think just the fact that the two major cities, New York and LA, are so far apart that kind of created a lot of, well, there's this kind of actor or there's this kind of actor. So I remember when I was back in school seeing, you know, Gary Oldman and Daniel Day-Lewis do, like, these great two shots of, like, totally different things that, you know, came out within weeks of each other, and yet they were also, at least back then, doing stage and stuff. I think he's actually written, Nathan's written an extraordinarily detailed, super realistic, and from all the research I've been doing, talking to different priests that work in prisons, I mean, he is right on the money with his play, but it's really just kind of a great version of the human condition, you know, as straight up corny as that sounds, it really is.